Hey guys, thanks for coming to check out another video here at Keepspace. What we are doing is the first video of our sessions on talking around product reviews and speaking to the founders of these products, which we're starting off today. I'll run into maybe a little intro thing. So guys, just first off, really want to thank Leanne to come down and talk with us today and speak with us in regards to what is all about ANAM. Yes. So ANAM, Leanne, thanks so much for coming.
No worries, thanks for inviting me here. It's very exciting.
So let's hear it. What's the story behind ANAM? Why does ANAM exist in the world?
Okay, so ANAM started about 2.5 years ago. So basically, I had just had my first child and I was getting back into exercise. So just light exercise, like walking with the pram and jogging occasionally, but I didn't really feel confident in what I was wearing. So I'd go to all these different brands, try on all their different tights, and they either made me feel, they either rolled down, they went see-through, so you could see my underwear through these tights. They were baggy. I couldn't find the perfect fit. So one day I came home and I said to my husband, because I'm like the master of ideas, I came home to him and I said, hey, I'm gonna create my own activewear brand.
All right, I gotta hold you there. So how many types did you try on? Because
multiple types.
It must be
cheap types, expensive types.
Like, isn't this a pretty saturated space?
Oh, hugely. Yeah, hugely. And you know, you've got all the big brands that are, which obviously I won't name, but you've got big brands out there on the market at the moment that promise you the world. You pay a premium for them, but they're crap, basically. So
wow.
Yeah, so I couldn't invest into any brand that I was confident with that offered what I wanted it to offer. So I decided to make my own type.
Wow. Okay, so you made your own tights. I'm super curious, how has it been going? Like, how long have you been going for now?
So we just had our second birthday in January. So it took, thank you, it took about 6 months to begin our production line. So before that, obviously you have to design the clothing. My first design was a piece of paper and my kids' crayons, and I just literally sketched what I thought would look good. And then I Googled, like, what do you do next, right? Because I have no design background. I'd previously never run a business. I was completely new to it all. Found out that you need to design a tech pack, which is basically like your instruction guide that you give to the manufacturer to make the clothing. And then, so I've got the tech pack together, did some samples, and away we went.
And how did it go when you got those tech packs? Like, what is a tech pack?
So a tech pack is like, so you can get a designer to do it for you, but basically it's an instruction guide that you give to the manufacturer. So it basically tells them what stitch, the inseam length, the patterns, the colors to use. It's basically the blueprint to your product design.
So you didn't actually go out there and say, all right, I like that one. Let's just change the color, check the logo on it, send them my way.
It would have been easier probably to do that, because I'm sure that you could actually do it that way.
I'm super naive, I would have thought that.
No. So I Googled it, right? I was like, because Google is it gives you every bit of information you need to know. So I Googled it. I went onto a platform called Upwork, which has many different skills on there. And I just posted a job saying, hey, can anyone design a tech pack? This is what I'm looking for. And I actually found a really great designer in Canada who put together a tech pack for me, and there we go.
All right, we'll put a little thing in the comments there called Upworks if you want to check that out. It's a really good place, because Upworks, if I remember, is like just almost like a freelancer place platform.
Right. Yeah. So every single like skill, or if you literally can put anything on Upwork, and there'll usually be somebody who knows how to do the job.
With like that process, was it a costly investment to get ANAM up and running, that 6 months process?
It really wasn't, because like on Upwork, you kind of just post the amount that you want to pay for the job, so you can set yourself a budget. The most annoying thing was getting the samples done. That was not costly, but it took a long time for me to communicate with the prospective factories that we were going to go to, and then get that sample back. Also, when we first started, we did look at places like Alibaba, and you have to be really careful when you go through these platforms because it is like a lottery. You just hope that you're going to get somebody who's credible, who's not just going to take your money and run.
And there's usually like a lot of people that are like on-selling agents. Like they're just the person in between the people you want to get to.
Correct. Yeah. So that was a bit of a minefield, right? Because you got to think the samples aren't a lot of money, but once you've decided on somebody who's going to produce your items, you've then got to invest a big amount of money. So if you just, so I was just really careful, and I was just praying that the person that I was going to invest in, or the business that we were going to invest in for the actual product line, was going to not take our money and run, basically.
Wow. Love that you're standing with me. That's so cool.
I'll stand up.
Where were we? So you've got your stuff, you worked out well, you've got someone who you've built a relationship with, I'm guessing, and you're off to market.
Yeah.
Cool.
We ended up, just on that point, we ended up going for an agent in the end. So we got an Australian-based agent that communicates with our factory overseas, and they're kind of the lifeline between us and them, basically.
Do you think you'll ever get to a point where you're like,
well,
I'm sure there's some margins.
of course, right? Potentially. It is still quite, even, this far into what we're doing, it's still very risky, right? You want to make sure that you've got an open dialogue with the factory, because essentially they're taking thousands off you. So you want to make sure that you've always got that kind of security. Plus, the factories we deal with, their English isn't great. So actually having an Australian-based agent helps with that communication between us and them.
And culture.
Yes, and culture, absolutely. So my agent is from the same province that my factory is based.
So you're right now mixing in. When you did your first run, were you thinking about seasons at all? Or were you like, we'll just release it and then we'll work into it?
Yeah, Activewear is a bit of that funny space, right? Because yes, there can be seasonal changes, but your staple pieces will always be throughout the year. And a majority of women, they may tell you otherwise, but they just love basic activewear. So black colors, nothing too outrageous. You got to think these women are going out, they potentially going to a gym, they don't always feel that confident, they don't want to stand out. They want to just go in, do their thing, and just feel confident that what they're wearing isn't going to be too outrageous. Or
my wife is like a size 8, 6 on regular, but then after babies became an 8.
Yeah.
So she still has clothes when she was at university. And so the concept of the fashionable season thing is so foreign to us. I buy clothes that will last 3 winters, 4, and shirts that will last maybe 1 summer. Yeah. Because I wear it so often. Exactly. They're just like a piece of paper, they run out.
Yeah, we're like an old pair of good jeans, right? You invest your money into an old pair of good jeans and they will just last you forever. If they're made of good stuff and like it's a good product, you'll just have them around forever.
I get that. So I'm like, I'll go to a shop, I'll spend $80 on a pair of jeans, no worries, because I know I'll wear that thing until there's a big seam rip in the middle and they're gone. Yeah. And because I know 4 days out of 7 is going to be jean day. Yeah. So with activewear, I was always under the impression that it's you wear it to the gym and then you take them off when you get home from the gym.
Oh God, no. Okay. So this is a massive trend in activewear that's been around for, God, I don't know, the last 10 years. Women don't wear activewear necessarily to work out, to be active. They wear activewear to pick the kids up from daycare, to go shopping, to meet friends for coffee. They are usually in activewear 6 to maybe 7 days a week.
So what did activewear replace? Like it must have been wearing your tracky jacks?
Yeah, exactly. It was like the unstylish pieces, right? It was like, your baggy joggers, or, it could have been those pair of jeans that you had around for ages. It's just more fashionable and easier just to wear activewear now. Really? You can just chuck on a pair of good black pair of tights, match it with a top. You feel confident. You feel like you're kind of active because you're in your activewear. You just feel healthier. It's it's a strange feeling, but when you're in activewear, you feel like this is me. This is like what I'm meant to be doing today, putting on my activewear.
I could probably get away with that. Okay, do you guys wear activewear?
They do.
Really?
No, I don't.
Let's be real.
I don't think it's a massive market for it, but I could be wrong. We don't sell men's, but I know there's some brands that do. I don't know how well they do, but they do.
But predominantly, it's the female market.
Yes.
That's
And we're, we are great for being active in. So if even the high intensity sports, we do have a good solid product for that. But we're also leisure wear. You can also just go for lunch in your activewear. You can go for coffee. It's just so easy. A woman doesn't want to think about what she wants to wear on a daily basis, right? She wants to look stylish and she wants to look good, but she doesn't want to have to think about what that looks like every day. She just wants to know, there's my staple pieces out of my activewear wardrobe. I look good, I look stylish, I'm on point, done.
So, okay, I am like the worst person to talk about fashion. Really, I'm terrible. So I'll grab my jeans that I didn't wash 3 days. I'll put it back on. Grab a shirt that my wife washed. But then you know how like t-shirts, when you wear them for a while, the rim around the neck part starts to flay. Like I'll grab one of those, chuck it on, and then just out the door. Because like you said, I don't want to think about what I'm wearing. Because we're in the stage where kids are in our lives, and so they kind of take up a lot of time. You just
running a business.
Yeah, you're running a business. You just don't have the time. So then it comes down to that curiosity space for me. Like, what is the market demographic that you're usually chasing that you found that activewear fits? Like, what did you consider?
We were never going to appeal to a really young audience. We knew that from the beginning, right? I kind of based the market around myself. So I am early 30s. I have 2 children. I had 1 child back then when I first brought out ANAM. So I really based the market around me. I based my market around, potentially my customers who have multiple children, who are busy, professionals, in a different stage of their life. Mm-hmm. Another point that we made it clear from the beginning was we were always going to offer extended sizing. So when we were doing our activewear research, we found a lot of brands stop at size 14. Okay. And a typical size for a woman in Australia is actually 16 to 18. So there's a lot of activewear brands that are just slicing off this big part of the market and do not want to appeal to them because, for whatever reason, they just don't feel like that their product would suit them, right?
If a lot of money's gone into this space, they know that they're a big company and all they want to do is increase sales for either their shareholders if they're public or for themselves. There must be a reason. There's got to be a reason why they chose.
Do you know what? I actually remember reading an article about one massive brand in Australia, women's activewear, and this brand actually stops at like size large. And there was actually this culture within her business that basically just promotes the skinnier girl. So if that's the ethos that was coming out of her business, then you can only imagine why she doesn't want to appeal to a larger market. But if you're appealing to women in their late 20s, 30s, who've maybe had a child, they're not going to be typically your size 6 or your size 8s, right? No, they might just be a little bit bigger than what they was in their teenage years or early 20s, and we need to appeal to them, right? I certainly, before I had my first child, I was a size 6. Then I had my first child, I was size 10, and I had my second child, I'm a size 12. It just happens. So it was just important to us at the beginning. We appealed to this market. We appealed to these size ranges, and I wasn't going to compromise on that. I compromised on a lot at the beginning with my designs and what my factory was asking from me, but I was not going to.
What do you mean? Like you say, no, look, you must get small, tight girl. It's good fit, it's good fashion, good money. Exactly. That's what they would say to you.
Yeah, the factories would say, look, we do 3 sizes, right? If you want extra sizes, you pay because it's more material. So maybe it's a costing thing, maybe not for the bigger companies, but maybe for the small and emerging brands, maybe it's that cost factor, right? We can only do small, medium and large because our factory won't let us, or they'll charge us through the roof to do more sizing.
Right, because they've made it for mass runs.
Yeah.
and that's the sizings they work up to, and then outside they're going to make a new mold or whatever.
Well, yeah, and they probably have a certain amount per size, so there'll be like a minimum, so you can, 100 for small, 100 for medium, whatever it may be, and if you want more, then you have to add more minimum units. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe costing could be a factor.
So in that, has it shown in your social media, in your announcements to the world?
Yeah.
What is that, and how has that been received?
So it's a really sensitive issue with sizing.
You're like, what the fuck are you wearing this for? Yeah. No. Well, sorry.
Even when we show, we have a model that is a size, she's fluctuated through the years from working with us, but she's been from a size 14 to a size 18, and we've used her as one of our main models in ANAM. But even when we demonstrate or show pictures of plus size women, we always get the little comments saying like, you stop at size 22, can you go bigger? Like, why you can't say it's body positivity when you're stopping at size 22. So it's really hard for us to market this.
So you get the really big girls saying, hey, you're fat shaming me.
Kind of, yeah. So it's it is.
Don't go all the way up.
To a size like 30, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there has to be a limit for us because of, we still want to extend that sizing a little bit further, but there will be a limit for us where it's just not affordable for us to do it anymore.
Is it affordability, or do you start to tip into health consciousness? Like, you want to make sure people
No,
live a
I think it'd be
healthy
very
life?
dangerous for us to mention health. I think it's more of a costing thing for us. And we want to be plus size. We want to do more than what the other brands are doing. And so far we are absolutely smashing that. And if we can take it a little bit further, then we definitely will.
Wow, that's so interesting. Because I totally get, you have kids, you wake up early, you're sleeping later, you're not eating as well, time is less, and all this stuff. Consequence, weight goes up. That's usually the result.
Yeah, it's life, isn't it?
It's kind of, So that happens, and then that happens for a while, and then habits may set into play. And so as it achieves that kind of space of increasing to that 18, 22 space, like, is it, I don't know how to say this because I don't really know a lot about it. So it's like, is it trying to, because it becomes a bit health of a danger, like, diseases and cancers kick in a little bit
it just
further.
depends, right? Some people are just naturally a bigger shape. Like, it's very hard for us to say, if you're a size 18, size 20, size 22, and we cater for that, are we doing the wrong thing? Because actually that's not a healthy weight to be. But like, some people are just naturally big, and to them that's healthy, and it is healthy. Okay. So, but it is a delicate space we're playing in. Especially when we talk about body positivity. We use a range of influencers from different sizes, but then we also want to make sure that we're not excluding the smaller audience as well. We're not excluding the smaller sizes, because if we concentrate too much on...
Oh, you mean the smaller clothing fitters?
So there was like a run of where we were just using plus size models, and our smaller sizing wasn't selling. So then we were like, hang on a sec. Maybe we're not being as inclusive as we could be. So we changed it around a bit, and we just, addressed that.
You touched on influencers there, and that's something I'm super curious about. So, because other people will be in the space where they're going to sell a product, and influencers from what I know, fashion, modeling, is usually a big takeoff, food, things, but like, you don't really get influencers for like pens and hardware goods too much. So with your experience being in the fashion industry and there being influencers out there on social media, have you had many sponsorships or collaborations?
What's your experience? So it's been a bit inconsistent in the influencer space, because we have tried unpaid, where we just do product gifting, and very mixed between influencers that really go above and beyond and really go all out posting for us, And then we have others that receive the product and just don't bother and just fall off the face of this earth, right? So you have people that just take your product.
Yoink.
Yeah. So that's a bit disheartening. And then you have people that you pay, so you get more control over that because usually there's a contract in place. But then it's been real mixed results, you know, some that have really big following and then they post and actually the engagement is really poor and we don't get much out of it.
All right, I'm super curious to break this down. All right, is it mostly, what's the channels? Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube? Which ones are the ones you're usually?
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram.
Majority of my audience sits on Facebook, but we use both. Yeah.
Okay. Facebook and, okay, mostly Facebook. So what is it that you usually ask for someone who is an influencer on Facebook? What's usually your layout?
So we usually say to them, like, you need to make this as authentic as possible. So I want you to try the product first, make sure that you're happy to review it and to give a positive feedback. Because obviously you don't want an influencer working with you who doesn't believe in the product. So you send it to them, make sure that they're happy, and then you ask them to really just go with what they usually post. There's no point an influencer doing something completely out of what they'd usually post just to fit your brand. It kind of has to all flow in naturally of what they usually would post for their audience. And we just give some, you know, sometimes we might say, look, if you could in this post somehow give your audience a review of our product, so talk to them about the fabric or, you know, the fit, then that would be great. But obviously we want it to make it look authentic, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary from what they usually would post.
So is it like you send them a checklist, like a document?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a way to do that, but I really just have an open conversation with the influencer and just get them to give me the feedback. It's a partnership, right? I want their feedback as much as, you know, they want my input into what they're going to do.
So if Facebook is currently your largest area, how many on Facebook have you worked with to date, and how many of those have been, and how many have been just like,
so it's a weird one, right? Majority of our customers sit on Facebook, but our biggest response to influencers is on Instagram.
Really?
So Instagram's very visual, right? Yes. So it's a great place. You know, you can post a picture and it can almost replace like 1,000 words and it can be very powerful. We've also got Reels as well, which is really popular now. So short videos to the audience. They work really well. But when I say Facebook is where a majority of our audience sit, it's because where they respond to most when we do advertisement.
Right, the advertising on your, okay.
So when we do like Facebook ads and targeting ads, we get most response from Facebook. When we do influencer posting, we get the most response from Instagram.
Oh, okay. Because I'll be honest, I don't go on Instagram. I'm not there. I don't live there. I go as far as LinkedIn and Facebook, but so in Instagram, how does it work? Because all I know is just photos, from what I understand.
Well, it used to be just photos, but now it's more like the short videos, like Reels. Reels is super popular at the moment. Okay. So if you're not doing Reels, then you probably won't get a great reach on Instagram.
How long does a Reel last?
It's like 15 to 30 seconds. Okay. And it's super easy. Anybody who's used Reels will know that like the editing tools on there are just so easy. And anyone can be like a video creator.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, it's so easy. So, yeah.
So, okay, I do remember one person showing me a functionality inside Instagram where you could place the post of the product and then you click on the picture and then it would put a link up to buy or go to shop or whatever.
Yeah, so you can tag your...
Is that still a function?
That's still a function. You can tag your products in your photo, yeah.
So do the influencers, like, do they run to provide the content piece, and do you send them to a certain page on your website to ensure you follow lead breakdowns?
So we do. So the way to monitor how successful an influencer campaign has been is to give them like a discount code to share with their audience. And then by that, we get traffic to the website. And then if they use the code, then obviously it's a direct action from the influencer. So that's the best way to track it. Right?
Really? Okay. So
otherwise, we would never know, I guess.
Fair enough. Okay. And out of those discount codes, I'm assuming you'd sort of see tractions to your own marketing you do, to the discount vouchers that come in.
Yeah.
Do they transfer well, these influences, or is...
Yeah, as I said, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Like sometimes it can be a really super successful campaign, and other times you just get crickets. So it can be a real mixed bag. And when you find an influencer, you really think, right, this is going to work out well. Their audience seems to be in the same demographics as mine. Their engagement is good, ticking all the boxes, and then it just kind of flops.
Why? That doesn't logically make sense.
No, I know. I don't know. It can be a real hard basket sometimes, you know. And sometimes you get influencers with very small markets, like maybe 5,000 to 10,000 followers, and they smash it.
So you find more in the smaller groups. They're ready for the hustle and grind. They want to pump it out, and these guys are getting paid by you.
Sometimes they just get products because they're trying to build their account up. Okay. But yeah, I think sometimes as well with the bigger ones, every other post is a promotion or they're advertising a product. I think maybe that dilutes it with the audience, and then they start to get thinking, oh, maybe they're just
money grabbing.
Yeah.
So like, because I'm assuming that a successful influencer would be one person who one product per 6 posts or something like that. But you're seeing them like one for one, like half.
Yeah, sometimes it just depends on what, you can get. So the most I've ever paid for a post from one of my influencers is $1,000 for one post. And that can be all the way down to $250.
So you pay for the post, you don't pay them based on the sale run?
No, you can do a combination of both. You can do either, but these influencers that I've used want.
That's shady as, because you think like if they're getting paid just to post, then there is no repercussions or basic of what they say, and the influence does. It wouldn't
Kim Kardashian gets like $1 million per post.
Really?
Just to post on her Instagram account.
That's a bullshit right there.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like what? Whatever. Okay. That just doesn't make sense from a logical place.
So it's less like Instagram is like where the money's at, I guess.
So your experience in this is like saying, do you think paying up front for a post compared to maybe paying based for work done is more? I
think you have more control if you're financially giving somebody money as opposed to product. Yeah. Because you can have more control over that. Whereas if you give someone product, it's like, I'll do a few posts for you, and it's kind of all very unorganized. Whereas if somebody's got money, they're like, right, $250, I'll do 3 posts in the month. So you just follow up and make sure they do the 3 posts, and then and good influencers will give you a choice to approve a post or not, and it is a bit of a lottery, really, and it's a bit of you just have to find a good one and then hang on to them.
Keep going with them. So you collab for
waste a lot of money, definitely.
All right. That's bummer.
Waste lots of money on Instagram. Yeah.
So I'm just curious now, like with that being one, is there any other marketing structures that you use besides influencers and paying for ads on YouTube?
So email marketing, we do email marketing as well, which has really varied success rate. So we try and post, we try and get the balance of posting to our email subscribers right. You don't want to post too much because you're just going to annoy everyone. Yep. But then also you don't want to post too little because your reach is going to be minute, and then what's the point, right? Yes. So we're still trying to find that balance.
Where is it sitting at the moment? Like what have you
chosen? Our open rate?
Yeah.
So our open rate with our customers is probably average. It's about 20 to 25%.
Oh, sorry. I mean, how many times are you emailing them in a given quarter, 3 months?
Weekly, we probably twice a week.
Twice a week?
Yeah. Twice a week. We was posting 5 times a week.
And so have you seen more success in 2 times a week than 3?
2 times.
5?
Yeah.
5. Yeah. What would you post?
Do you know what it was, right? It was different advice from different people. They were like, you need to be speaking to your marketing, you need to be speaking to your email list consistently and every week and multiple times a week.
But it's not speaking. It's shout, like you send something to them. There's no dialogue. It's a one-way communication process.
Yeah, correct.
You know? Come on.
But it depends what you're posting. Are you giving them just the hard sell, or are you giving them stuff they're going to be interested in reading? Like, it just depends on your industry, right? And what your audience will respond to.
Right. So that was your content creation process, I'm assuming. Like, you were creating content and sending it by email to them.
Yeah.
Okay. And because you have a product that sort of fits around fitness and lifestyle?
Lifestyle, yep.
Was the content more towards lifestyle more than
a real mix?
fitness?
Yeah, a real mix. So you got like, you can speak to your mummy audience and give them content they respond to. You've got the fitness side of things. You've got, we try not to be completely salesy, but occasionally we might have some offers and promotions, which are the ones that get responded to.
Right.
Most.
I'm so sorry. This thing keeps beeping. All right, I'm gonna turn that off. All right, so I wanna wrap this up. So there's just two things I really wanna break into. Like, because your product we've talked about the sizing as like, you're standing out based on size. Is there anything else? Like, is tie-dye a thing, or are the pockets a standout thing?
Three main features of our product, right? Gonna give some self-promotion here. So 3 main features is pockets. Women friggin' love pockets, right? And it makes sense, because if I ever wear bottoms with no pockets now, I realize how much I need pockets. Keys, money, whatever it may be, it's just so handy to have pockets. We have 2 pockets.
You got one on each leg.
One on each leg, right?
Cool.
Deep pockets, smartphone-sized pockets.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
that's very
women
good.
love that. So yes to us. A number 2 pain point for our customers was the fact that their tights always rolled down. So the waistband would constantly...
like the flappy bit at the front?
Well, they just
keep,
it just keeps falling down. You have to keep pulling your tights up every 5 minutes. So we were like, no, how can we fix this issue? So we designed our tights to be slightly higher on the waistband than most brands. We really concentrated on the waistband. So we've got quite, the paneling at the front is very thick.
Because is it normally like you get the belly button where the fold begins?
Yeah, so we're past the belly button.
Okay.
We're a whole 15 centimeters. If we're talking about size, we're a whole 15 centimeters, which is more than most brands out there.
So where do they normally go to?
Like belly button, below belly button.
And that's where the roll kicks in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we stay up. We do not roll down. We stay in place.
You can see them just along the top there.
Yeah, they will not budge. And if you read our reviews on our website, everyone says the same. So yeah. Number 3, we made the tights relatively quite thick, not too thick, but thick enough so that you wouldn't get that see-through look. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when women have really cheap tights on, or maybe not so cheap,
you can see the underline.
depending where they brought their tights from, you can see not their underwear line, but you can see the actual print of the fabric on their underwear, so you can actually see colors and patterns, because their tights are see-through.
Oh, I see what you mean. So like if they're wearing...
really thin, like badly made tights, you can see their bum.
What's the normal color of activewear? Is it usually...
Black.
It's just black. And so if they're wearing white underwear, the white would show through the black.
Potentially, yeah.
Wow.
But that means that they're what we call GSM isn't thick enough. So just having enough material on the tights.
What is GSM?
So it's actually grams per square meter, and it talks about the fabric. So
Okay.
we're 280, which means we're relatively quite thick.
And what would, if I was to see through part, like to see the white part, what usually would that kind of thickness be?
I'd say only 50? Maybe, I don't know. Wow. It's just, but it's really embarrassing, right? Because you go to the gym, you work out, if you are being active in your activewear, and people can see your underwear. Yeah. That's not tasteful.
No. I'm not going to comment on girls who choose that way, but
so that was our other pain point, and that's what everyone was telling us. I'm fed up with my tights rolling down. I'm fed up of being able to see my underwear.
And I can't put my keys in my pocket.
Yeah, so I was like, right, I'm going to fix this.
So you put those 3 together, and ANAM came to world.
Yes.
And everyone's happy.
And now once people try ANAM, they don't go to any other brand.
Do you think your story of the future of ANAM can have a spandex direction? Do you think it has the potential
Potentially, you just never know. Like, you just kind of have to just go with it and see how your business journey takes off.
It's 2 years into it. So what's the future for ANAM? Where do you want to take this bad boy?
So we want to be a global brand. So we don't just want to appeal to Australia and New Zealand, although they have been our biggest supporters so far. We want to be globally. We want to be in everyone's activewear wardrobe around the world.
Wow. How do you see that happening? Like, how do you get into everyone's wardrobe?
Oh, lots of money on advertising, I guess. But yes, influencers, your normal mainstream advertising platforms. It is a long-term goal, but I think, if we've got a solid brand, we've got a solid product, then why should we stop at Australia and New Zealand, right?
Yeah, high five. Cool. All right. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
This has been super educational for me. I learned so much about activewear. I didn't know. I literally was one of those old
Maybe we'll bring out men's next. You can be the one to try it.
I'll lose some kgs first because
don't.
I feel bad.
That's not even within our brand.
I'll be like, what?
Doesn't matter what size you are.
What's that doing right there? Or she might be like, honey, you look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have something in the lower part that the girls don't, so it kind of stands out more strongly.
Yeah, you can design things for that.
Okay, cool. I would be very interested.
We'll put that in the thought planner.
On the side.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on.
No worries, thank you.
How can we find out about you? Where can we find you?
So you can go through any of the socials, so Instagram, Facebook, ANAM, spelt ANAM, Activewear, or you can check out our website, which is www.animactivewear.com.au.
Cool. We'll put all these into the comments below. Do check out what Leanne is putting forth to this space. It's really quite interesting, and we're very grateful to even have a chance to talk to her about this. So, thanks so much. We'll see you in the next one.